Our next speaker is one of the most remarkable contributors to the life of the foundation. He is an ambassador of our cause and a legendary fundraiser who puts his heart into everything he does when it comes to FFB. Please welcome Michael Evans. You're good. You're good. Here's the mic. Mike, here's the mic, Mike.
Thank you.
And I'm going to move my glass so you don't knock it over. That's the one thing I have learned from living with a person with RP. Keep your water glass away.
When Sharon asked me to speak tonight, I was immediately thrilled. And then she told me I only had 10 minutes, and I immediately started to panic. So I wrote all my ideas down, and I boiled them down to 3 things that I wanted to achieve tonight. First, I wanted to engage everyone in a conversation that needs to have greater repercussions outside of this room. Second, I wanted to share what the Foundation Fighting Blindness means to people like me who are struggling with vision loss. And last, I wanted to engage everyone in a toast. Let's start with the toast. Why are we toasting? I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to keep you in the dark about that for a little bit. Now, before we toast, I want to level the playing field here a little bit for those of us that are visually impaired, and by making this a little bit challenging for some of the sighted folk that are at the table. So if 2 or 3 guests at each table could slide on the low vision simulation glasses, we can make this a little bit more interesting. So just 2 or 3 people at each table, or else this isn't going to work. So now, before we raise our glasses, here's an important safety tip for those of you who are now wearing the simulation glasses. When you toast, raise your glass and let the others do the clinking around you. So, without any further delay, cheers, everyone. Cheers. Raising my glass and letting other people do the clinking is one of the thousands of workaround techniques I've learned over the years to function in a visual world where almost 90% of communication is visual. Unfortunately, I learned this lesson the hard way. Back when I was diagnosed with RP, I remember a formal dinner similar to tonight where the lights had been dimmed, and somebody proposed a toast. Being myself, I enthusiastically raised my glass and I pushed it forward. Unfortunately, instead of clinking, I broke a whole bunch of glasses at the table. We can laugh about it now. And while the wine and the broken glass was cleaned up after the table pretty quickly, I remember that we avoided talking about what everybody was thinking at the table, that my vision was getting worse. I remember distinctly an awkward silence that descended upon the table because it was a familiar one. Fear was setting in. My parents didn't know how to bring up the topic, and I avoided it like the plague. Actually, I became the master of changing the subject. We never spoke about the fact that I had a progressive eye disease. We never spoke about the fact that without a cure, it would eventually leave me blind. My parents didn't have a support network to help them help me, and I felt alone. isolated, and defeated. That was my personal narrative until I got involved with the Foundation Fighting Blindness and came to my first Vision Quest conference back in 2005. It was then that I met people like Erin George, Elizabeth Herdman, Martin D'Souza, and I just bumped into her again tonight, Jenny Duff. Just having the opportunity to meet people like myself who shared similar struggles was incredibly empowering. Just having the opportunity to relate to their personal stories gave me the courage to find my own voice. And because of that, the guy who went silent after breaking a whole bunch of glasses that night is now more than happy, and you guys know me, to bring up the topic at any table, at any time, again and again. I'm so glad that because of the people here tonight, and because of what's going to happen tomorrow at the Vision Quest conference, that people like me and their families have a place to go to meet other people like them who share their struggles, and basically to meet some incredible people. Tomorrow, people like me and their families are going to come together and realize that they're not alone. I, for one, am constantly inspired by all the new people I continue to meet and how passionate they feel about vision research. This summer, after cycling to Collingwood as part of Cycle for Sight with over 150 amazing people, I did something that I've done for my entire life since I was born every year. I went up north to the family cottage to get to relax and enjoy the outdoors. I sat down in a Muskoka chair and I peered across the lake at a shoreline that hasn't changed in over a century. It's a view I've enjoyed all my life. And I had a moment. The image of the beautiful Killarney Mountains, which are preserved in my memory, were gone. The giant white pines which tower above the tree line, I couldn't distinguish them anymore. And the loons, which I could hear in front of me, out on the water, I couldn't see them anymore. And I sat there in awe, thinking about the paradox that was in front of me. While my vision has gotten a lot worse over the years, I've never been more confident that we are on the verge of breakthroughs that are going to make the outlook for people like me a lot brighter. And I've never been more resolved to keep fighting for that day. Now I can reveal the reason for that toast. The reason is hope, and there are many reasons for hope. I have hope because more and more people are coming out of the dark about vision research. I have hope because I have hope that a child born today with RP won't have to face a life of progressive vision loss, and his or her parents won't have to face the fear and frustration that my parents endured. I have hope because the conversation about cures being in sight has clearly shifted from a question of if to a matter of when. And with 100 friends in front of me tonight, I have hope because I know that all of you are making a difference. Thank you very much, and if we may, cheers one more time. Thank you so much.